banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, cattle rustling, rape, communal clashes, killings, bombings, raids on communities and abductions. These are some of the security challenges that have become the norm in today's Nigeria. From the northeast, made up of Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba and Yobe states, security challenges are very prominent now more than ever before. Terrorism, banditry, kidnapping and abduction of women and girls and children are a big concern. In the northwest of Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto and Zamfara states, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi and Zamfara states are ill reputed for raids on communities, kidnapping, terrorism and cattle rustling. The North Central, Benue, Niger, Nasarawa, Kogi, Kwara and Plateau states are plagued by farmer-herders crisis, banditry, terrorism and kidnapping. And then the Southeast, local communities here are attacked by bandits, taking lives and destroying properties, farmlands are violated by herders, a new rage of terrorism arose, causing the burning of state infrastructure, INEC offices, 3 police stations, a court, and even a primary health care center in Njaba, local government area in Imo State, were all lost. The Southwest is also not exempted, as Ekiti, Oyo, Ogun, and Ondo have had a bit of herder crisis in rural communities. Only Lagos appears spared by herder crisis. Nigeria is bedeviled with unimaginable security challenges of varying dimensions.
Security is staring us in the face. How many investors will come to Nigeria today? Real investors. Forget about the criminals that are coming and parading as investors, helping people to take money out of the country. Real investors that want to stay. Because when investors are coming, they are not coming as portfolio contractors or briefcase contractors. They want to do business. So they are looking at the long term. So, but if you have security issues, why would they come here? And we are talking about investments. Most major investments run into billions. So nobody wants to come when the outlook is not fantastic.
I see Nigeria sitting on a time bomb. What is the population of Boko Haram now? And what is the population of Almajiris on the streets in the north? So, you think those kids are not growing? Or they are just stunted, they will remain kids forever? Give yourself another 10 years, you have a Boko Haram times 2 in terms of strength. Is anybody looking at that? Or we are just contented?
The levels of insecurity and how the insecurity is being shaped out across the country. You find that different states, different geopolitical zones with different issues, right? And the capacity to respond is different. So I would say that we are at a place where we need to be considering state police.
The rate of insecurity in the country is at an all-time high.
It's unfortunate that Nigeria, when it comes to security, is where we are today. The quantum neglect that has gone on to the security sector is what we are suffering from today. And that is why whatever the amount of billions we throw in there, it is just never enough. We are still talking of buying AK-47 for policemen when police in other countries are already using AK-49. We are still celebrating buying 6 Tacoma aircraft to fight in the Northeast when countries like Benin Republic and Togo have 12 or 15. You are here celebrating 6 with your House of Assembly shouting, how can we give them 1 billion? What have they done with 1 billion?
Why can't we have proper security at each local government? If with 773 or 774 local government in Nigeria is properly secure, Nigeria is secure. But today, as I speak to you, there is no local government that is secure. There is no state invariably that is secure. And Nigeria itself as a country is not secure because of misgovernance at that level.
It has become more prominent in the last, let's say, 4-6 years due to the issues of increased issues of violent crimes in Nigeria, especially in the northern Nigeria and even in southern Nigeria that we have seen in the past 2 or 3 years.
A common knowledge to Nigerians.
The crime rate in this country is very high. It's a multitask for the police. You see, there are so many problems in the country now: militancy, bandits, or rapists, kidnapping, and ritualists and the rest.
Well, I think we need state policing in Nigeria currently because the situation of our security is alarming.
We expect to be one of the 10 largest countries in the world by 2050, if not one of the 5 largest countries in the world. So we're still going to be under one police command. We are going to lack efficiency. It's going to affect everybody. So we need it more urgently now with the issue of the security challenge we have all over the country.
With these, wanton killings and destructions have become part of our national daily life.
You see, I keep saying something, Nelson. Those running this country for us don't seem to be in the sort of haste which some of us as citizens are in. Do we realize Nigeria is really, really, really behind when you compare us to other members of the international community in nearly every aspect of life? Number of kids out of school, we are on 13 million, about the highest, with 10 million being from the north, where I'm from, and 3 million from the south. You mean as rich as Nigeria is, our children cannot go to school? Isn't that a slap on your face and on my face? I hope you know in the next 10 years we have been projected to be around 350 million or thereabout.
No day passes without a report of an attack or security breach.
Let's bring you some breaking news that's reaching us before we get into the discussion, saying that this time from Imo State, where unknown gunmen have attacked the Imo State Correctional Service and the Imo State Police Command headquarters.
And the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Anambra State has been set ablaze by gunmen.
We're staying with the developing story, the kidnap of students at the Government Science College.
Nigeria indeed has a pan-national security challenge.
The challenge, the biggest challenge, and what people are complaining about, the governors, is that they are not in charge of security in their state. It's not to say they don't give, let's be fair to the federal really. It's not to say this governor cannot give command to the commissioner of police. Even in the law, it says you can do that. But their challenge, when it's a contrary, okay, I'll give you an example. Edo State is a PDP state today. If the governor gives instruction to the commissioner of police and is contrary to the wishes of the center, and he checks with the IG, and the IG knows I might be contrary to what the president wants or a certain minister, he might say, don't do it. So at that point, maybe somebody's life is on the line. But the governor is supposed to be chief security officer in that state. So will you still call him chief security officer? When the person, the commissioner, that they are supporting financially, buying vehicles for, buying gadgets for, even supporting their wages, fueling their vehicles, buying generator for their offices and all. And then the man says, sorry sir, I cannot respond. Try and talk to the IG. Or we have logistical challenges and we cannot do anything. You know. So that's where people are really not happy. People are not happy with that right now. If we have said the governor is in charge of his state, it should be total. He should be able to make decisions to do with security.
The strength of the nation comes from the base. It's not from the center. And that's why you find that the center continues to grapple with it. It can't be a top-down approach, you understand? So that level of engaging at the bottom of the prism is why we have ungoverned spaces, is why we have the challenges of groups evolving and taking control of the ungoverned spaces.
The question then is, can the current security structure and architecture as operated by the Nigerian state still useful?
All governors should protect their states because the national police have failed us. So state police should be the best.
We have been using centralized policing system for many years now, and we have not gotten the best in terms of security of lives and property. So why don't we now shift ground and look at it holistically and see what we can do to tinker with the process and get the best, for us as a nation.
The police, as we have it, do not have the capacity to cover the entire space. We cannot recruit the number of police officers that we need. Neither do we have the resources to complement the ones we have with the kind of technological sharp-hand tools.
Is the Nigeria Police, as presently structured, able to provide enough security for the country?
Governors that initially opposed it are now speaking in favor of state police because they have realized that they are only answering chief security officers only in name. The commissioners of police do not take instructions from them, rather from the IG. And so they have a state, they have a jurisdiction, but they don't have control over it because the CP determines who he takes directive from and all that. So they have found the futility of their former argument that they don't need state police to now agree.
Honestly, to achieve what I can describe as a true federalism and efficient functionaries of government at all levels, we need a state police. It's something that we have to have gotten in the Constitution from the beginning. If not for in the manner the Constitution was made by the military, it was a product of a military regime, which is always about dictatorship and totalitarianism. That's why they have channeled all the machinery of policing and others into the federal government, leaving the state with any kind of a law enforcement mechanism. Because when you have states, one of the important tools of states is police.
The military, the Air Force, what are their roles in combating and wiping out the current security challenges?
Manpower is one of the major problems we have in the national security sector in this country. I'm talking about the national security sector, I'm looking at military, paramilitary, whatever. We have a serious manpower issue. And it's rather ironical to me because we have the strength. By now, we should be talking of a 1 million man standing police force. And that is even at the federal level. Then at the state level, states should be able to really get their own police in place, their own policing structure in place, with an average of maybe 50 to whatever thousands of manpower strength per state. Yes. Such that when the need arises for you to use policemen, you use policemen. You don't start bringing out the military. Today, the military is all over our streets in Nigeria because they need to avail assistance to the police that is already overwhelmed by virtue of manpower. I'm not even talking of equipment and whatever now. Even the manpower issue, the police is overwhelmed. And of course, no reasonable government will sit down and not be able to see how much it can do to protect its people. So the governments, apart from this one, even before this, are always compelled to bring out the military in support of civil authority. Civil authority this time being the police. The Constitution allows the government to bring out the military. The military will concentrate on its statutory responsibilities, protection of the territorial integrity of our country, and of course, taking care of national interests, where the need arises and has called upon by the president, who is the commander-in-chief. That's the role of the military. And they should remain in the barracks. You wouldn't see them on the streets.
Are the challenges today the same as yesterday?
Even though there is a history, it is to learn from the history and not to shy away from it, because we're different people and the issues are different.
I am also at a loss as to why the government at the federal level is foot dragging in getting us into the state policing and even community policing structure. Okay, these are developments which I thought would have come in place even in the first 2 years of this administration, that is to say in their first term, not even in the second term. Looking at maybe all the advantages that will go with it and so on. But I think it's getting too long. It's getting too long. We are not moving at a pace I expect us to be moving at.
According to Statista, an international database on terrorism, Nigeria has the second highest number of terrorist-related deaths globally. If, therefore, Nigeria's security challenges are clearly more monstrous than ever, what then is the way forward? What is the solution?
State police. State police.
State police.
State police.
State police.
Yes, to state police.
That is something, according to security expert.
If you say when, I will say now. Because we are long overdue.
Lawyers.
The best way for us to secure Nigeria is to go towards the direction of state policing.
As a matter of true federalism, states need to have their own police command.
Activists.
It's ripe and it's long overdue.
Politicians.
The reality today is that not just the state police, we also require the local police, which means the local government.
The vice president.
State police and other community policing methods are clearly the way to go.
And Nigerians on the streets say Nigeria needs right now.
It's good for Nigeria to have state police so that it can give us confidence, the citizen. If we have state police, it will give us individuals to know much about our security. The security men will know us and we know them too.
We are ready to have one because it's not every case that we have to report to the zonal headquarters in Abuja. I think we are ready to have one instead of the federal police that everything has to be taken to them.
All governors should have state police because state police will be even easier to curb crimes because they know what's happening in the states and from the locality. They know the people that are thieves. They know how to go about curbing crimes.
I believe that should be the way to go now. I believe that's the way forward. People could be more secured and you could believe in a personal policing rather than a federal one.
Yeah, I think Nigeria needs a state police actually for safety purpose because a lot is going on now, kidnapping and all.
A constitutionally empowered and independent police outfit under the control, funding and command of the states.
State police is all about the subnational structure having its own policing infrastructure on the ground. By subnational structure, I'm referring to the states. It avails them, or yes, it avails the states the power of control over the policing of its own entity, which is the state itself. Such comments as, I am the chief security of the state, but I don't have control over the commissioner of police, would no longer show up. Because this time around, the governor would have full control over the headship of his police. Whether they want to, I want to believe they'll still go with the nomenclature of commissioners or whatever. The fact is that the governor will be the chief security of the state and will still be able to fully exercise that function without referring to the federal level.
State police simply means we having the state government having their own police command, their own police unit under the executive arm of state government. The current police system we have, they are federal police, and many of them somehow they are no longer efficient because it is becoming too large. All Nigeria police, they are under one single control of the Inspector General of Police in Abuja.
We have to first agree here during the constitutional amendment. We have to get the state houses of assembly to agree, and then take a vote on it, and then that will be it. So we are not too far, but we are still far. It is agreed on and it becomes law. Because even when we do our bit in National Assembly and the state assemblies do their own, we are still waiting for Almighty Villa to assent. So, but I don't think we are too far away. If you have true federalism, you have devolution of power, you have fiscal federalism, because how are they going to pay the policemen that they want to recruit? If they are still getting what they get now, if the federal government is still getting the percentage of the money they get now, 50-something%, then the states are getting 20-something. Then we need a lot of money to fund the police. So if we have true federalism, it will mean that they will be paying tax to the center. So they will earn enough money to take care of their police. That's why we have to have fiscal federalism, where the state will be responsible for their, where you have to give some more power to the states to earn money.
Aside the move by the Southwest and Southeast states to create a community policing outfits, Amotekun and Ebubeagu, to assist in tackling and arresting acts of banditry, cattle rustling, communal clashes and crises, as well as terrorism in the rural communities. The clamor for state police is not about creating a security outfit. It is about amending the Constitution, restructuring the security structure and architecture to give the federating units the constitutional power to govern their different jurisdictions without interference from the government at the center.
First, we agreed to the amendment of the Constitution that the Constitution needs to recognize the state police structure. Two, then we look at the existing police act, the most recent police act. It needs to be amended to also recognize that it's to share jurisdictions, quote and unquote, between the federal police and the state police apparatus. State police would be set up by the state government. And I'll use Lagos as an example. I keep saying Lagos is already practicing state policing, right? Because you have LASMA that is providing traffic duties. Traffic duties is part of the duties of the Nigerian police force, right? You have CAI that is providing some form of policing duties also taken from the police force. You have the neighborhood watch group, right? That is also under the local government and chieftaincy department, I think, that is providing some form of community policing structure. So if we take Lagos as an example, what law put those things in place? It's a state edict. So you have a state edict that would be put in place.
We mimicked the American system. And if you go there, you discover that they have county police, then you have the state police, and then you have the federal. So in the local, they have sheriff. In the states, they have police as we have it, and same with the federal troops and all. Same thing for the federal roads. You have the troopers patrolling there. So there is boundary and delineations. There's no issue of encroachment. In our own case, I think for a long time, because of the way people have behaved in this part of the world, that is why they didn't think it was the governors who manage it well. But we cannot run away from reality.
The best way for us to go, let's understudy what is going on in other countries like us that is operating federal structure, just like America. In America, they even have a police system at the even university level. They have their own policing arrangement. The local government have policing arrangement. The state has a different policing arrangement. You have the FBI now that comes in case there is any conflict at the state and this, and they come in and take over the entire investigative level, and then everything is working out perfectly in order. So it's a constitutional issue. Now that we have what you call the ongoing constitutional amendment, it should be inserted in the Constitution that state policing is something that is clearly inevitable.
If that means amending the Constitution to make provisions for the creation of state police, then so be it. Pupils and students will be happy and safe in schools. Nigeria will have increased foreign investment. The economy will grow. Both government and citizens will sleep with both eyes closed. There will be peace and joy in the land again. So help us God.